Following the deadly bombing of the Murrah building, Oklahoma City regrouped, remembered, and established an organization to learn more about terrorism and to teach how to stop it. David Sid is the executive director of the Memorial Institute for the Prevention of Terrorism and a former FBI counterterrorism specialist. He joined me for a Newsmaker interview. David, the bomb attack in Boston reminds us to be vigilant.
It does indeed. The See Something, Say Something campaign, which began in New York, really does work. And people who are looking for suspicious behavior need to understand that they are not spies or doing something that's not good. They are stewards of one another's well-being. The police can't be everywhere all the time, so we do need the help of Mr. and Mrs. Front Porch.
So questioning is good, but jumping to conclusions is dangerous at this time.
It is. It is. I think we should reflect on what happened after the Murrah bombing in 1995. Everyone said it was classic Hezbollah. Turned out to be Timothy McVeigh. So we really can't be sure. The threat spectrum is wide. It's very multidimensional. We have to wait and see what the facts where the facts take us.
What are the differences in methods between domestic and foreign terrorists?
Well, you know, Dick, because the improvised explosive device is the weapon of choice, there aren't a lot of differences regarding the kinds of attacks we're anticipating. Some international groups are quite sophisticated, and others are not. Like any human enterprise, you find terrorist organizations with very high-end performers and low-end performers. But one thing I do say to remind us all of the threat is that evil can act at the level of virtuosity as well as can good.
How concerned should we be about domestic terrorism?
Well, what we're seeing is a rise in the violent rhetoric, which is constitutionally protected, and also in the anger and frustration among certain groups. When that happens, the threat of violence increases because those who advocate violence ultimately end up in leadership positions. And then you have a greater potential for something to happen. So we're concerned because we see it on the rise.
This time of year, around April 19th, is always a time when we're concerned, especially so.
That's right, that's right. Anniversaries are important to us and also sometimes to our adversaries, so we have to be extra careful.
What do you think causes April to be the month when so many things happen?
Well, we have Tax Day, we have Patriots Day, we have the anniversaries of Waco, I believe, and Ruby Ridge were in April. A number of events that inspire the ire of people who really live in an alternative universe than you and I do. They see the world entirely differently, and certainly they can do that. But when they resort to violence, then it becomes a matter of concern for all of us.
As extremist groups rise in number, what can we do about that?
Nothing, really, Dick. We can't do anything. But what the challenge is separating the dangerous from the merely angry. There are many people who are angry and frustrated who join these groups. Most are not violent. Some are. Separating those is the challenge.
How has this affected people in Oklahoma City, the Boston bombing?
Well, I think it has an effect here that it doesn't have other places, Dick, because I speak to survivors and family members frequently, and they still feel that day acutely. April 19th, 1995 was yesterday to them, and I think when an event like this happens, it simply brings that all back.
And the Memorial Marathon will go off as planned?
It will, and I think it's really going to be the safest marathon in history because the security is going to be superb.
David Sid, thanks very much.
Thank you, Dick.